Hi everyone, welcome. This is Dalis, Stamper Girl for Crafting Kimmy, and happy Thursday. This is a Throwback Thursday for Crafting Kimmy, and we're gonna be doing a little bit of work. We are gonna be using the Light It Up set from Crafting Kimmy. I adore that set. And if you did get that set during our retreat, you saw that the little jar for the lightning bugs, I made it a really tall jar. I almost wanted to do something with the jar, but I had to, you know, calm myself. And I decided that since spring is just around the corner, not quite here yet, at least not for the Midwest, here in the US. I wanted to do something to remind me the hope. There's a light at the end of this wintry tunnel, and we are going to do a shape card. I did cut my shape card using my Cricut, but I will give you some steps on what to do if you don't have a Cricut machine. This is from one of my cartridges, so the shape is kind of put together. I just did a few modifications for it, but I'll show you. So I am so happy that you're here with me, and let's go down. I am a huge fan of American Crafts, so I am using their everyday paper. I believe that they have it on clearance on their website. Um, it has 18 sheets. They're 6 by 8, so it's kind of in a smaller size paper pack, but they're pretty good. They are pretty thin, the papers, but I like the different designs that they have. Like, they're unique. They're not your usual florals and this and that. So I'm using again the everyday paper by American Craft. And let me show you. These are the colors that I've been looking for. So I already put together. So it was 2 cuts in the Cricut, the gray one, the light gray, which is, I created that. So you only get really this panel, and then I made it into a shaped card, because this is more to like make like booklets. And then this, I just make sure that the bottom part didn't have the holes, because I kind of wanted it for you to see the gray. Mind you, we could have done it so it had holes and you can see it through, but we are gonna actually put a pattern paper right here in the bottom, and I think that will bring up, see, the whole look. And I love the paper. It's kind of like a bulletin board kind of material. So it's super cool. I did ink the edges of the flower. So let's go and see if we can, if the glue is gonna cooperate. And it's barely putting any glue. So, but I'm hoping this is enough. Oop, did we get the clog out? Let's see. No. We have a clog in there, and when we put um the pin back in, all you're doing is putting the clog back in. So okay. I know that the card kind of is a little bit shorter. It's not 5.5 exactly, but the difference is so little you won't notice. Okay, so I am going to put that, and then that is how much of a difference is. You guys see it? But I am totally fine with that. That's kind of like, those are the things when you're cutting to really tight places in the Cricut. Sometimes you gotta pick your battles. Okay, so here is our card so far. Super quick shape card. I love it. I think I might put a ribbon down here. I'm not quite sure. I do want to add a layer here. I was thinking of doing a center for the card, but then I was like, oh my god, if I do the center in yellow, And I do my little light bugs. Are we gonna be able to see the light bugs? So I'm gonna cut a few because the other option is just to do a stripped right here, okay, like this, so it's yellow, and then put the center on top, which we might still do just to add some color. So let's pick another. So we got yellow. What else could we pick? I don't want to pick yellow. Oh, so no to that. That's kind of yellowish. I don't want to pick blue. Maybe a pink? Or do we want to pick this cute heart pattern paper? And again, I had an idea in my head, but you know how you always keep changing your mind. So if I do this, it's going to be a lot of... Or we could do that. Or we could do the center in pink, which I'm kind of liking. I kind of like the center in pink. So let's try to do that. Okay, so first thing first, let me tell you what my plan was for the center. Was to bring a few of my die cuts and just, yes, I could have cut it in the Cricut. This is perfect. But to tell you the truth, I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. So this is perfect in my opinion. It gives me a little bit of a halo all around it. But we're going to cut this from the yellow. Why don't we just say the pink? You see, my brain keeps telling me that I really want that yellow. So we might end up doing the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to cut it from the pink. When I am cutting stuff like this, I like to put a little bit of tape. And you don't have to do this, but I do like it. And if you see me ever crafting, you're going to see me like just chop, so I don't have to maneuver the big paper inside my die cutting machine. We are back. It's been die cutted. I'm gonna put my die cut away. I don't lose that guy. I'll not put that away yet. Okay, so I know that I am done with this blue. I mean, this pink. The leftover, you see how it was. This is the cutout from the Cricut. So I'm going to put that because there's still some usable stuff that we can get. This is just not usable enough, so it's going to go to trash. And this may or may not be usable, but not for this project. So we'll see. And when I do use line pattern paper, I like to, don't ask me why, I like to always put it at diagonal. It just makes me happy. Diagonal lines make me happy. So you do whatever makes you happy, okay? I lost my foam that I use for blending. I'm trying this out. Not happy about it, but you know, I'm hoping that my little foam will show up at some point. Okay, so there we are. I really like that. Now do I want the pink on the top? Like that dark pink on the top or the white on the top? And I think I like the white on the top. I think. What do you guys think? Well, let's add the yellow. So we are going to measure, I'm going to measure this here. And that's going to be about 1 inch. Yeah, a 1 inch by 5.5, almost 5.5. So let's cut this to be 1 by 5.5. Let's turn it over. It's just easier than start doing some math. No need for math. I'm recording this at night, so no need for math. Then we're gonna do 5.5. Okay. You may not have been seeing that cut, but you know, it's just 1 by 5.5. Okay. And it's gonna go right here. See? Right there. And then our pink circle is gonna be on top of it. It's kind of adding a little bit of color. See? It's just adding colors and texture. Could you have left it here? Oh, 100% yes. But I just want a little something, something. The first thing first, I am going to glue. Well, let's ink it because I know in the bottom I'm going to have to re-ink because I'm going to trim a little bit. But since I'm not sure how much it is because it's like 5.4 something. But well, hopefully you guys are crafting with me. If you're not crafting with me and you decide to make this card later, just make sure that you leave me a message or tag me at Stamper Girl. Only one vowel, the A. So STAMPRGRL. And I'll be more than glad to help you out with any questions that you have. I love teaching. I love helping people be successful in doing card making and any art related stuff because it's good for your soul. Okay. Crafting and making art, it's good for your soul. You need it. Okay. I'm going to move it. I got a little wiggle time because I'm using wet glue. I'm going to trim that little bit extra. And then I'm going to re-ink that because I cut the part that I had ink. Okay. So I like that mustard yellow in there. We are going to put this right here. Again, do we want lines? Horizontal lines? I don't know. I don't know what it is about diagonal lines, to tell you the truth. But I am totally obsessed to using, see, so I'm going to push it again. I'm trying to poke it to see if I get what is it that it's clogging in. But I am not successful. Okay. So we're going to do a diagonal this way. That is a good cover. Okay. Okay. It's funny because I'm so used to doing lives that I keep looking up to see if you guys have commented something. And then I realize, oh, this is a recording. I'm recording this class. Okay, so here is the shape card so far, but still fits in an A2 paper. Isn't it cute? Okay, other ideas for this. If you do have like a huge, ginormous, simple flower like this, you could put your paper, right, your cardstock, and do partial die cutting and die cut just to a point. And then do the same thing with the pattern paper, and you would have the same idea of the card. Okay, just I think such a fun little idea to make. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the even fun part, the most fun that you're gonna have tonight, which is working with our stamps, our Crafting Kimmy stamps. They are fabulous. I love them, and this set has just a special place in my heart because there's so much stuff that you can do with it. Okay, so let me get ready and we will stamp some of them. Okay, so here is the set. It is darling, it really is. So it has this big this jar like terrarium, right, with the poke holes, and then it has some like algae and rocks that can be used for our friends here that are more aquatic. And then we have like a little caterpillar that has bitten already the leaf on that little branch. And then it has some hearts and like bubbles, and then we got the 2 lightning bugs, and let's see what else. And then of course all of the sentiments, right? So I'm gonna use the 2 lightning bugs, and I already have them on my block. I do have a foam on top of my glass. I feel that it helps me get a better stamp. If you're using a stamp positioner, then you're perfectly fine. I'm using Marvelous Mocha. It is my favorite brown. And then I am just going to stamp, apply even pressure, and then bring it up. They're perfect. And then I'm going to stamp a bunch of them. I don't know how many I want to use, to tell you the truth. But I'm just going to stamp a bunch of them. Okay? Like that one had a little bit more pressure, and I like the thickness of the line. They're a little bit thicker. So I might try to reproduce that without rocking. Oh, I like that. I think that's fine for now. Let me show you. So for this stamp, since it has, this is what I meant. So they Kimmy wanted to use the this void space here for more images, which was great, but it also gave you the fabulous jar, right? In this jar, you can put it on, pick it up with your positioner, or with a acrylic block, and make it work. But the great thing about her leaving this space that she didn't know when I did it, and she saw it, she was like, "What?" Is that you can bring your positioner or your block, and then you can grab the bottom and make this a tall jar. Did you guys see that? Isn't it fabulous? And when you stamp it, is a super, super tall jar. You can shape it and move it as much as you want. This can become a salt and shaker, salt and paper shaker. You could also make it even more chubbier than it is by extending it and then flattening the bottom. You could do it so it's kind of like, you know, those old candies shapes that are like sideways. You know which ones I'm talking about? Ones that you can like rest like this in other shapes. But that is the fabulousness of this little jar. Okay, so seriously, you need that jar in your stash. Okay, so that is probably enough time of me talking to go ahead and start coloring with the ink to have dried here, because it's super dry. It's winter, it's super dry, and everything just dries in no time. So let's bring back our colors, and I am thinking that I should do pink somewhere, right? I should do yellows. And I should do blues. So let me get some of those colors. So blues, yellows, and pinks. Blues, yellows, and pinks. There's like a little bit of a minty green in here just in case, because I don't know. I don't know where we're heading with this. So I'm gonna start with the part that is the lightning bug, and I am gonna start with the pale cream to color the end of the lightning part. I wonder if this is the color I wanted, because that seems really dark. That may not have been, yeah, that is the color I wanted. I always just confuse these two. Yeah. Well, we are gonna have to make it work. Okay. So we're just gonna try to make it work. And remember that my coloring is super simple coloring because I like to enhance my coloring with watercolor pencils. That is my hack, my trick. I live by that. Because my favorite medium is watercolor. But lately it's just the time it takes for watercolors to dry for you to be able to hop on the bandwagon again. You know, it's a lot. I'm gonna try to see if I can add a little bit of here. So here I am just adding enough of my darker color, and this is just for me to know where is it that I am going to be adding watercolor pencils. So this is just my guide, okay? I followed this guide and I'm like, oh, that's when I'm gonna be putting my watercolor pencil. That's all. That's what I'm doing, okay? So we might be able to see it in the end and we might not. Okay, so now I am thinking that we might want, we have a lighter blue than that. I don't know which of these two blues it's lighter. Yes, I know, I'm a terrible. I need to really swatch my, I don't like this one. This one goes more with that one, and this one goes more like this. Because this is going to be done a little bit darker. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to swatch with this. And we're going to, that is going to be our wings. And I'm just going to, the whole wing. Okay. Again, remember. And I'm going to leave, sometimes I leave like a highlight without being colored. And that's just for me to know that that's where my highlight is. Okay. So that's how I do it. I'll show you in a little bit. So you see how I didn't color that. Let's see if it can focus. Come on, friend. There he goes. So right here and right here and right here is just not colored. Like I didn't put any aqua marker. So that's my way of knowing that's where my highlight is going to go. And I sometimes leave it like that. And sometimes I'll add a little bit of gel pen. It's up to you, however you feel. Either way works, in my opinion, fine. But really, you just try it and see what do you like better. Because this is, yes, the card you're making, it's probably going to someone. But the process of making this card, this is all about you, okay? This is about you being happy, you making something that makes you happy. So, so do it however is it that you like. Okay? I promise you, nobody is gonna come and say, oh, I don't like that card. Can you make sure that my highlights are on the other side? Nobody. Guys, nobody's gonna say that. So just do whatever works for you, okay? I promise you're gonna be so much happier. And don't be too judgy on yourself. So the other day I was just scrolling, mindless scrolling, and there was this little reel, and I don't even know, it was like a little cartoon. I think it's a little star. And the cartoon goes like, "Stop talking like that about my friend." And it was about, how you, like us as human beings, tend to be our worst critics. But that people that loves us would never say something like that. And you would never say something like that to a person you love. So remember those things. Remember that, this is where I'm gonna put my shadow when I bring in the watercolor pencil, okay? Um, but seriously, like, before you start feeling and thinking those things about yourself, just think about it. Would you tell those things to somebody else? Would you criticize somebody the way that you're criticizing yourself? Because I bet you won't. So I love it. And it's just the cutest little star, like a little cartoon star, and she gives you feedback every day, and it's so cute. I love it. I simply love it. Okay, remember, I'm not really shading in the act of like people do with markers. Like some of our gals are excellent at that. I'm really just marking where I'm gonna come in. Mind you, it's not like they look bad. Like they are like super cute. Like you can't make them look not cute. Okay, so that's where we have our blues and our yellows. Then we have pink, and the pinks left, and we have this like minty color that I'm really liking. And I wonder if he needs to be all minty, and then I'm gonna wait to see how that dries, because that looks really dark compared to the color. We'll see if I can show you. You see, it kind of looks really, really dark compared to the color on the lid. And I'm wondering if all we need to do is to, oh, this is not the pink I want. Isn't like that is too, I don't know. Or is it this one? Wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Actually, I think I want to go with the first one. Because I don't think I want the whole face pink. But that seems so dark. But I don't have any pastel colors on my markers. It's something that I gotta find. So I got that peach. Could be a good color. I like the idea of the peach phase, but I still think I love that green. So let's try the green. Let's see how it looks. I'm gonna use the thicker side so I have less brush strokes. And I think it was the right idea. Okay. Okay, so there's one of the green ones. Okay. And tonight, again, if you're doing this later and you have any questions, just let me know. I just wanted you to show that you can make like a easy shape card in no time using these adorable little guys. And even though you don't necessarily think of flowers, like I don't think there are any flowers in the set. This is just the perfect little spring card that you can give someone. Okay. Okay. And our last one. Okay. So those are our little guys. And then this one, is this the one that we're going to be using for? Let's see. That? Or is it going to be, and I'm actually making the, I think I like this one better. So I'm going to do little cheeks on the guys. Little circle cheeks. Why? Because I like little cute cheeks. You don't have to do them, but I'll show you. They simply look adorable. See? Come on, focus. Come on, focus, camera. There it is. Look, it's very lightly cheeks. They're so cute. Okay, so these are done. I'm gonna color the little antenna green too. You can barely see them. And yes, I did color them with blue over at the beginning. But since you're putting green on top of it, you can't even tell of the boo-boo. Okay, so now that I'm set, I am going to put away my markers and we're going to come back with my watercolor pencils. Okay, pretty bright colors for what I usually use. Compared to what I usually use. I think I'm like in the mood for a little fun. So I have oranges, a dark yellow, a blue, a green, a pink, and a brown. And so if you have never used watercolor pencils, you want to do your blending before you add your water. So I'm going to add my yellow first. Just want to do all the yellow first so we know I covered everything. And after you do your yellow, I'm going to come with a tiny bit of orange. My orange, I'm going to be very careful because these are Super Colors 2 Soft by Karen Dash. And they're beautifully pigmented, but nothing compared to the Stabilo. Okay, Stabilos are, you really want to do the smallest amount. Like sometimes I just do a little hash, not even a full line, a little hash. And that is plenty in terms of the amount of pigment that it's going to add. On top of that, I'm going to add a tiny bit on the center with the brown to add depth on the middle. Okay, just tiny bit, a little dot. I'm gonna come with the blue, and I'm gonna go remember everywhere that I marked that I wanted to put something. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a little line. Everywhere that I marked that I wanted some darkness or shadows. That's why we literally just went over with that darker color. If you don't have a darker color marker, because this is good also if you have watercolor pencils, but you don't have a large amount of colors for your watercolor, for your markers, this is a great way. So you can also like mark, let it dry your marker, and then do the same color again. It's gonna make it a little bit darker so you know the mapping that you did. Okay, now for the green, I didn't add any green second color, but I know exactly where I want my green. Just want to make sure that their heads look a little rounded. So that's all. And no, I am not using watercolor paper. This is regular paper. Remember that we started with markers, but there is some magic that happens when you do use markers first on at least this paper. This is accent opaque paper, or it creates a layer that allows the the watercolor pigments to stay on the top and let you blend them and mix them and do beautiful things, versus if I were to use this pencil just directly here, it would seep down as soon as I put water on it. So that was a discovery that I did, and I will tell you, over the moon. So a little bit of water, pencil. You will always see me dabbing on my hand. This is how I control the amount of water. A lot of people like to dab on a cloth, but if you dab on a cloth, I'm not quite sure how you know how much water is on your paintbrush. Here, as soon as I dab, I can see the amount of water on my paintbrush. And if I go like, oh, I removed too much, I can go and grab it from my hand. Okay. I'm always try to go from light to dark. In this case, I'm going to start with all the yellow that I added. But remember that we did add a little bit of brown in there. So I am just doing itty bitty circles, and I come back and I scribble on my hand to remove the extra water and the extra pigment, because remember that you are now bringing that pigment up. Okay. I'm going to show you the first two, how different they look. So these two have been colored with a watercolor. You see it? And these two have not. So it's just, and you can make it as smooth, like tiny little circles. Like if you, like that one looked very watercolory, which I love, which means splotchy and just beautiful. But if you want it smoother, you could come and clean it and bring more water. I don't recommend for you to bring too much water into this paper, because again, this is not watercolor paper, okay? And there's a little bit that I went outside the line here and immediately seep in. Because what? Because we don't have any alcohol layer in there, okay? But it's okay. So right there, we got a lot of color. So I'm just going to bring it, and that's perfect. So now we're going to go, I am thinking blue. So I'm going to dab little tiny circles to blend that in everywhere that we added those lines. And it's just creating this beautiful, beautiful depth with no work whatsoever. Well, I guess a little work, because you're blending those with tiny little circles. But I am going to do one more, and then I will show you how it just, those just melt the colors. So look at these. So these are all watercolored. This ones are not. So from here down here, they're all blended. From here to here, you see the lines of the pencil. You see it? It is such a dramatic look. Like it truly just changes the entire look of your piece. So if you have never tried this, try it. And let me know if you like it or not. Maybe you go like, oh, Dalis, that was a terrible idea. I hated every second of it. That's okay. We'll figure out what went wrong or what we can do to make it better, be better, okay? Now we're going to go with the faces. Now I did add a little bit of a pink to my cheek, so I gotta be careful because I have this green in here. I don't want the cheeks to be brown. It is a very ballsy idea here that I got, adding those cheeks with the pink. But I'm like, just gonna go and do, you know what? I'm gonna do my cheeks first and let them kind of seep in. Activate the watercolor and let them seep in. Oh yeah, that's so much better than the first one. And then I will come and deal and do the green. Okay. I think it's enough time when I finish this one that I can start here. Let's see if it's true. Oh yeah, much better. Oh yes, much, much better. Okay. Yes. Because the pink already sip in the other way, because the first one of the cheeks is a little muddy. And by muddy is that we made a little bit of brown color. Which again, I am super relaxed with what I make. I like stuff. I like stuff to look different. I like to play and see what works and what doesn't work. And that didn't work the way I wanted, but we made it work at the end. Okay? So let me show you those guys. Oh, they're so cute. There's a bunch of them. And look how cute the colors go. Like, we could literally just do a line of them like this and call it a card, right? But we are going to fussy cut these. I'm going to fussy cut one in camera to give you the hints that I usually give people when I fussy cut. And then after we fussy cut one, I will fussy cut the rest out you know, without recording and come back. Before we forget, I do want to add some gel pen. I'm going to start with everything the way we colored it. So first thing we color was the yellow. So I'm going to start with the yellow because you want to make sure that your paper is nice and dry. Gel pen does not like wet surfaces. They just don't. Okay. Then we're gonna go. You know, my wings really don't need much of a highlight because I left the highlight at the beginning. So let's see if it's gonna allow me to do the green. We might need to wait a little bit. Oh, it's letting me. And then the 3 dots. I like to do the 3 dots on the cheeks. Why? I don't know. I like it. It's like Patty with her eyebrows. She likes the eyebrows. I like the 3 dots on the cheeks, on my rosy cheeks. It's a little bit of a signature, right? Okay, that is perfect. So, again, let's do one. Let's cut one, and I'll give you the tricks of the trade for fussy cutting, okay? So, always use scissors that you feel comfortable with them. Some people like to fussy cut with huge, ginormous scissors, and if that is what you're comfortable with, oh, go for it. I like these. These are AK Success cutter bees. Mine are blue because they're from the 1900s. And what I say is always start like an area that is straight. Never start on a curve. So I'm gonna come in and go into the curve, into the straight. And I am gonna try to stay the same distance around. But if when I turn or I notice that I'm going at a different one, don't try to fix it immediately. Wait for a turn to fix it, okay? Because it's going to look more like you position your die cutting correctly and it shifted off a little bit than that you fussy cut it, okay? Then the other tip that I tell people is that when you're going into a turn, you never stop at the turn. You move past the turn, then you can take a break, okay? What it's going to do is that your turn is going to look super smooth and like a die cut did it. And that is the magic of fussy cutting and looking like you did put it into the machine, okay? So I'm gonna take a break here because I'm gonna come see these little guys. I'm just gonna go in and out, in and out, in and out. Not paying exact attention to where the line is, but more like giving a feeling. So, and I'll show you what that looks like. Like I'm not exactly following the line, but I know that those lines are one shorter, one longer. So your brain is going to go, oh yeah, look at that. She fussy cutted each of them. No, not really. Again, I'm going to come into a turn, not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. And yes, this one, I ended up noticing that I have a little bit more of an edge. It's okay. No worries. Keep going. See? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop at a turn. Just stop later. Okay? Stop later. And I will show you what this looks like. It is not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. Right? Now, I'm going to cut these off camera and I'll be back. Okay, we are going to stamp our sentiment. I chose the You Light Up My Life. There's You Light Up My Life or You Glow Girl would have been perfect. You're a really big deal. Hope your day glows. Like all of them are just adorable. Again, using my Marvelous Mocha. And I am just going to stamp it, put even pressure, and bring it up. There it is. You Light Up My Life. Okay, it's going to go right there. I'm going to put it away. We're going to do a few layers for the sentiment to actually kind of like pop. So I am going to trim this. I think I want like a little fishtail. Okay. Just trimming a little line in the middle and then just trying to meet in the center. They don't need to be perfectly symmetrical. Mine are not. So You Light Up My Life. And then I am going to use this blue one. And I am going to use a little bit of this brown one. We're going to make some layers here. But first, we're just going to ink them up a little bit so it looks like the rest of the card. Because all those papers were nicely inked up. So, kind of nice. And then we are going to also ink up the white one. Trying to stay only so it inks up kind of like the core of the paper. So we're going to put this right here. I'm going to put the blue right on top of it. And then we're going to put our You Light Up right on top of it. Oh, that is perfect. I like it. So, I actually like exactly where it is. I'm going to hold right where we are. We're going to put, contrary to what I usually do, I'm going to put the glue onto the card, right? And then turn it over, glue right here. That's perfect. We are gonna trim. Do notice that, yes, I changed scissors. This are my scissors for scraps. My other scissors were for fussy cutting. And yeah, I know it makes no sense to a lot of people, but that's how I rule. Okay, so this is gonna be on top. Okay. We're gonna go right about there. I think that's perfect. Okay. Turn over, cut it, and then get up. Blend it in. Then our last layer is gonna be the U light up. And I was gonna erase it, but I don't think I need to. I think there's so much interest already in this card. There is no need. And you light up my life. Right there. I think that is adorable. Turn it over. Ooh, I may have cut. Hopefully we are good in there. Okay. Okay, you light up my life. Then there's going to be one here. And then we had one of the big ones and one of the little ones here. And then one of the big ones here. And one of the little ones here. So we're making like... There you go. And I think that is adorable. We are going to pop these kiddos up. I am going to be using some of my 3D sods, my singles. I think 1, 2, 3. I think I'm good with that amount. Because the little ones are going to use only half. Oops. Which actually... oh my. Okay, so let me put one of my thoughts. And there. Okay. And then these guys, those little ones, are going to use half. And you can kind of like extend these. Like you can like... You want to make sure that you like press them nice into... The more you press them, the less 3D they're gonna be. So you can kind of control a little bit the thickness, which is why I love these so much. Okay, so we have one big one right here. That is kind of like flying away. There you go. I don't want to put it in the same exact direction as this one, because then you're going to notice it's the same image. So if you put him a little bit on a different like direction, then it's less obvious that it's the same image. Okay. Then this one. Come on. Sometimes I don't want to release. I'm going to put it right here so you kind of can see. Right. Okay. Okay, there we go. Right there. And yes, you do have a little wiggle room if you have not pressed these into your project. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put all my stuff away and show you our finished card. Here is our finished card with Light It Up. Isn't it cute? Love this set. And then you open it. There's your card. You could do the same circle that you did here. But you remember that you need... Well, you don't even need to trim it because you can move it a little bit more to the right and put sentiment there or do a little bit of your writing in there. So but isn't it cute? But yes, like that would be a good idea to put like this a same circle like this, but probably like in the same color, the same neutral color or white right here. So you can write, so you can start writing here. You can keep writing here. You can stamp another sentiment, whatever it is that you want. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you like this content, make sure that you like and subscribe both to Crafting Kimmy YouTube channel and to my channel. I will put a little card up in the top that you can click there and it will take you to be able to subscribe to my channel too. I would love it if you join me over there. I do go live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays at 3 Central. Wednesdays are my short. It's like a really short, it's about 30 to 45 minutes. We try to do something either to clusters or do something quick because I gotta go and rush to work after that. Mondays and Tuesdays are free for all. And then Fridays at 8 p.m. Central, I go live. And sometimes I go live with my friends at night. So keep an eye. Just make sure that you do both in this channel and my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get notified when new videos or lives are happening. Thank you so much for joining me here for a Throwback Thursday for Crafting Kimmy. And if you end up doing a card inspired by today's Throwback Thursday, make sure that you tag me. I would love to see it. Thank you so much for everything and thank you for being here and see you soon. Bye.